Hey, crime constituents! We are popping in your feed with a little surprise episode. We've been so excited by all of the support that the podcast has been getting over, especially the last month. We've seen so much growth, and it's because of our crime constituents who keep downloading the episodes and leaving 5-star reviews and sharing the articles. So thank you so much. And in exchange for your generosity, we decided that we're going to start trying to give you a little bit more content. So Sarah, do you want to tell them what Newsflash is?
Yeah, so welcome to our new segment called Newsflash, where Harley and I are going to talk about some of the biggest headlines from the past couple of weeks. So we'll pick about 3 to 4 news stories and chat about them, give our commentary, not dive in deep to them, right? Because a lot of these are still open cases, but we know you guys are reading the same headlines that we are, so we wanted to give you guys a little extra content.
I'm excited. There's so many stories that I want to talk about. We just haven't had a venue to discuss them. And there's also just like some really fun, wild headlines that aren't their own episode, but I know our crime constituents are at least interested in or are probably already hearing about.
Yes, exactly.
And these are unscripted. So you were getting unfiltered Harley and Sarah. That's what we can call it, Harley and Sarah unfiltered.
Yeah, so enjoy that.
Yeah, it's going to be fun for all of us. It's going to be a learning curve for us too, because we're used to a little bit more structure. We're structured ladies.
We are.
And this is the opposite.
We're just going off the cuff.
Yeah.
So
I've had 2 cups of coffee this morning. I'm ready to go. So Sarah, do you want to throw a headline at us?
she's Sarah. She's Harley. And we're gaveling in another session of Crime in Congress. So welcome to Newsflash again, and we're going to start with a article from Rolling Stone. I want to also give a shout out to the reporter because as someone who works in comms, I think it's always good to give credit where credit is due. So Nikki McCann Ramirez from Rolling Stone wrote this headline: childless GOP candidate borrows friend's wife and kids for photo ops.
The first thing that I thought of when I heard this headline, and actually as some more background for people about how Newsflash is going to work, I have not read these articles. I've seen some of them from just like my own TikTok scrolling and whatnot, but Sarah is really going to be introducing a lot of these stories to me for the first time. So if you haven't heard these yet, we're in the same boat. Welcome. But when I first heard this headline, I thought of that Modern Family episode where they're casting at the mall for like the family advertisement. Have you seen that?
Yes.
And like they keep swapping people in and out until they come up with the perfect family. I think he had did he have a casting call or something?
No, so these are actually a friend's wife and daughters. So GOP candidate Derek Anderson, who is running to take over Democratic Representative Abigail Spanberger's seat in Virginia's 7th. He was caught featuring a woman and $3 in campaign videos and images who are notably not his wife and daughters. They're actually the wife and daughters of a friend. He, in fact, is childless with a Dalmatian, but he is engaged.
Okay, childless with a Dalmatian means you have a kid.
Okay,
sorry.
Well, dog mom over here.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I am a mother of 3. Don't take that away from me. But insane. Did he actually call them his wife and kids, or did he just want to give the appearance that they were related?
No, he wanted to give the appearance. And actually, a spokesperson for Anderson said that, quote unquote, Derek's opponent and every other candidate in America are in similar pictures and videos with supporters of all kinds, adding that the content in question simply featured a female supporter and their kids.
But do you take family photos with your supporters and their kids?
Right, exactly. It's definitely misleading at minimum.
I mean, I'm kind of here for it. I mean, it's shady, but it's a bold move.
So here's the question for me. Was he like, hey, John, that's the name I'm going to give the friend. Have no idea if that's friend. Hey, John, so kind of tough look. I'm childless right now. And that's, all the rage right now in the Republican Party, right? You know, don't be a childless cat lady.
Exactly.
Well, unfortunately, Derek is a childless dog man. And he was like, John, can you do me a favor? Can I use your wife and daughters and some campaign materials?
As my own.
As to appear like they are my own.
I wonder if he was thinking, like, I need to get JD Vance to like me.
Right. Yeah. He's
that
like,
was his inspiration.
This is going to be a bad look for JD, my good friend JD. We have to get some kids in here. Gotta do wife and kids. But interesting, though, that he is engaged.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting to me that okay, listen. Use the kids or whatever, but not to use your own, like, fiance.
Yeah.
Like, does his fiance look so radically different that it would be impossible but even so, like, they could be adopted kids,
mm-hmm.
right? Like, why wouldn't you just go ahead and use your fiance in the ads, right? And then, you know, let's say we use John's kids. That's fine.
But also, people were going to figure it out. Like, I think that's why I'm so confused by it. It's like, you're going to campaign events presumably with your fiance and not
Right.
John's wife, whoever John is.
And the Dalmatian.
Yeah. I mean, have we checked on the Dalmatian? Maybe it's John's Dalmatian too.
Wait, yeah.
Someone needs to check. I need some adoption records for the Dalmatian. But, like, he doesn't have kids. He doesn't have a wife. He's going to campaign events at least alone, but probably with his fiance. So, like, what was the goal here? Was he ever going to explain it? Was he just hoping that people would say, oh, look, fake family, and move on? Like, what was the goal?
So that's a good question. And I wonder too, because I mean, people who go to political events are very different from the average voter, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when you're just looking up someone, that's that's his wife, that's his
a
kids,
family.
and that's fine. Like, I'm not like fact checking.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, normal people, I guess, aren't fact checking these things.
I would be more likely to vote for someone if they had a Dalmatian in their campaign ad.
Yeah, quite frankly, if someone was childless and had a Dalmatian, I think that's a green flag. We have to vote for them over a man with a wife and 3 daughters.
Boring.
Every day, run-of-the-mill politician. Be different, Derek.
I want someone with a parakeet.
That talks at campaign events. I want a parrot. Yeah.
Yes.
And I actually hope the parrot says some, like, really outlandish, wild, crazy things, right, that he's heard at home.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Give me someone who's really into their fish tank. Because if you take care of, like, a saltwater fish tank, think about how well you will take care of your constituents.
We need more fish owners in Congress.
Absolutely.
We need more engineers, and we need more fish owners in Congress.
More scientists, too.
Yeah. People with technical skills, I think, are needed.
Absolutely. Someone who, if you understand tech, if someone says cryptocurrency to you and you don't start sweating, run for Congress, please. We need you.
If someone asks you what's 120 times 34 and you don't panic, we need you in Congress.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. If you can square root anything, come on over.
Come to Congress, please. I'm begging you.
You will be immediately put on science, space, and technology, and you'll run the show.
That's good. Do we have anything else to say about Derek?
I mean, Derek, I hope you I hope you get married and that you have kids of your own, and one day you get to put your real family in your campaign ads.
That would be hilarious, though, if he just kept using John's family.
Yeah.
He's like, we've already committed. We already have 3 daughters and a wife that looks like this. We can't veer off track. I'm so sorry, honey, but it's continuity now.
He's treating his campaign like it's an ad for, like, a medication, like a headache medication, where it's just like, oh, look at these happy people strolling through the park because they don't have migraines anymore. He's like, I mean,
look how happy they are that they're married and related to me.
Exactly. He's like, I'm just a commodity. I'm going to sell myself just like I would sell, I don't know, aspirin.
I actually do have another. So I'd like to think, too, that I'd like to think this wasn't just a conversation between John and Derek being like, hey, can I use your like wife and kids? And then John has to go to his wife and kids and be like, so, my buddy Derek, that I go to the bar with and go, to the driving range with. Well, we need you to be in the campaign ads. I hope this was a conversation where Derek was like, yeah, this JD Vance is not going to like me. He's at dinner with the couple. JD Vance, and maybe his fiance. Yeah, listen, JD Vance is, he's not going to endorse me. He's not going to have anything positive to say because I just own a Dalmatian and I'm just engaged. So, John and Linda, can you please help me out?
I hope they actually are like supporting his campaign too. Like, can you imagine if they just felt pressured into taking the photos, but they're like big Democrats?
They're next door neighbors, and like he's kind of like the weird next door neighbor. No offense, Derek, but like he's the weird next door, and they're like, like I don't know how to say no. Like maybe no one will notice.
Oh my gosh. Well, I am a proud supporter of childless dog dads. So Derek, even if you lose, you have two supporters here in the podcast booth who would have supported you and your Dalmatian even without the fake family.
Yeah, exactly. So be true to yourself, I think is what we're trying to say.
Well, you have some confidence.
Have some confidence.
Yeah.
People like dog dads.
Exactly.
Voters, a hot take, like dog dads. They like single dog dads. And they're interested in that. So
yeah. He needs to be in his like self-discovery era, figure out who he is. And then maybe he'll be able to, if he doesn't win this race, because I haven't even been tracking what that race looks like. But, maybe he'll have this like resurgence in politics where he's like, oh, I figured out who I am and I found my real family. And
Derek actually does win. And then all of a sudden he's like, who are these girls who've been saying things like I'm the weird neighbor?
He's like, he's probably a wonderful person.
Anyways, Derek, we love dog dads. Come on the pod.
Yeah. If we see you in Rayburn, we'll say hi.
Don't listen to the podcast. Okay.
Unless you have a really good sense of humor about yourself. All right. I feel like we can let Derek rest now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good night, Derek. All right. So for our next headline, it's a doozy. So if you don't already know, between 2008 and 2012, North Carolina Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson, who was running for governor, seems to have made / absolutely did make absolutely crazy comments on Nude Africa, a pornographic website that has a message board. Here are some of the insane, hateful, horrendous comments that he made about peeping on women, and this was back when he was 14 years old. I came to a spot that was a dead end but had two big vent covers over it! ! It just so happened it overlooked the showers! ! I sat there for about an hour and watched as several girls came in and showered. Next quote. Quote unquote, I like watching tranny on girl porn. That's fucking hot! ! It takes the man out while leaving the man in. And yeah, I'm a perv too! ! Yikes. Next quote. And this is in reference to a celebrity having an abortion. I don't care. I just want to see the sex tape! !
Do we know what celebrity he was talking about?
I don't, but that is a really good question.
Interesting. Okay. I'm saving my comments for the end, folks, but just know my face is showing everything
the jaws
that
on the
I'm
floor.
feeling. Yeah.
And then finally, and this one's really bad, slavery is not bad. Some people need to be slaves. I wish they would bring it, talking about slavery, back. I would certainly buy a few. So, all horrendous, all terrible, all hateful, and outrageous. And let's get to that in 1 second. However, I do have one question. The CNN reporters, were they looking up Nude Africa on their CNN laptops? That's my main question. Because a lot of questions. Like, who did someone tip them off and then they were like, Nude Africa? Like, or was this like my favorite thought to have is that someone was already on Nude Africa and they're like, oh my gosh, wait, I think that's Mark Robinson.
Wait, is that the governor?
Yeah.
What's the governor doing here?
He goes to his editor, hey, so kind of weird. Don't ask me how I know. But
crazy. My computer glitched and somehow
my CNN computer glitched and it took me to New Africa, and I just so happened to find this comment down there that I think might be the lieutenant governor.
Can you imagine you're sitting at home, doing something incredibly private, and suddenly you're like, oh man, I gotta tell my boss about this.
Yeah. Like, oh, this sucks. Please don't ask me how I know. And also, my other question too is, has CNN not blocked Nude Africa on its? You can
go to IT.
Because in some companies you can't even look up YouTube, right? Like some of them, like YouTube's firewalled, and I'm sure that's not the case for CNN because like with most like comms like folks or reporters, like you need like full access to the internet. However, I do think the idea that you could be searching and looking up porn on a CNN laptop is incredible, insane. Watching porn can be productive for your professional life, I think is what we're learning here today.
It can be productive. It can also destroy it.
Yeah.
So if you're going to watch it, at least don't do it on an account that's linked to your email address that's also linked to your professional accounts when you run for governor.
Yeah. And also, if you have any ideas of going and running for governor, don't post things on a message board, and especially don't post hateful, terrible things.
Yeah, I feel like we haven't given that enough attention. Like, the act of what he was doing, at least for my point of view, is crazy. I don't really understand the appeal of posting on porn message boards, but all of that aside, the CNN reporter who accidentally found this, all of that aside, these things are awful.
Yeah. They're awful, and they're also hypocritical to his campaign messages in general. So not only are you spewing hurtful and hateful rhetoric, you're also going against what you've even campaigned on.
And it's, you're asking people to put their trust in you. And even if these were moments that he deeply regrets, that he's super ashamed of, if he understands completely why it was wrong and he's like, I was just doing it for a shock factor. Granted, he hasn't taken responsibility, but even if privately that's how he's handling it, all voters have is your public statements. And that's what they have to make a choice with when they're deciding whether or not to trust you. And so this does matter, even though it was, I don't know, 14 years ago.
Even if it was in the Obama administration. Yeah.
It still matters. So I think it's really disappointing. I also wonder how many other people could be exposed similarly, though. Like, who just were smarter about their account settings.
Right, exactly. Like, didn't use common sayings that he uses in real life, or like his username wasn't like a common thing he uses, like everywhere else, right? Like, are there who else is on these message boards saying crazy things?
Yeah.
Again, not kink shaming. Watch porn. Do what you want.
Yeah. Do what you want. Just don't do this.
Yeah. Point blank.
All right. Forgive my bad pun, but I think I'm ready to put Mark Robinson to bed.
Let's put Mark Robinson to bed.
Okay, you can stay there for a while too, Mark. No need to get up anytime soon. All right, Sarah, what other wild headlines do you have for me today?
All right, I have another good one that I've actually been following for the past month or so. But this is from NPR's Frank Langfett. Video shows the moment a Kentucky judge was shot to death.
Ooh.
Yeah.
How have I not heard of this?
It's really interesting. Back on September 19th, Kentucky Sheriff Sean, nicknamed Mickey Steins, shot and killed District Judge Kevin Mullins inside his chambers in the Letcher County Courthouse in Whitesburg, Kentucky. The craziest part about this is that the killing was captured on camera.
Like, did he record it or security camera?
So there was a security camera in the judge's chambers.
Okay.
So the judge was shot, like, sitting at his desk, essentially. So the video shows the sheriff coming in. They kind of have an exchange. The sheriff pulls out a gun. The judge is literally in his desk, like, sitting there, and he starts to, like, kind of duck and cover. And you can't see the full video was shown to the court because when they did the preliminary hearings or whatever. But they showed the full video, and yeah, he shoots him right there in his chamber.
Do we know why?
So this motive seems to be that the sheriff found his daughter's phone number on the judge's phone, and that it was also confirmed that the daughter was called from the judge's phone. So I'm that's
assuming
what we know.
Underage daughter?
So I tend to think that the daughter was underage, or at least is pretty young, because the sheriff himself is only 43 years old.
Okay.
However, that's not really to say anything also. So I have a couple of theories. And again, guys, these are theories because we don't really know again, this is an ongoing case. But idea one is that this girl is a minor, right? No matter what, it would be kind of weird to have the judge have her phone number, unless it's something weird like she wanted to emancipate herself or something like that, and she was asking for the judge for advice. Like, I don't know.
Or could it have been as innocent as, she's like, what if she's involved in moot court? Or, I mean, I'm hoping that it's something innocent. It seems like it probably wasn't if it motivated the dad to go this far.
Right.
But since we don't know, it's like, okay, was she looking for moot court advice, or were you all having a highly inappropriate relationship?
Right. Or was this sexual and perverted and really sick, which would make sense why that gives a lot more motive to shooting and killing someone on camera.
Yeah,
right?
If he was willing to, he's a sheriff. He had to have known that there was at least a high likelihood of there being cameras in that office.
Yeah.
And so he had to be so confident in himself with this crime that this is justified and I'm going to do it. Yeah. And I don't care if I get caught. Is he pleading guilty? No.
So he is pleading not guilty.
Oh.
Yeah. Which, again, so I don't know if I'm very curious what the defense is going to be. If it's going to be something like, I was blind with rage, I blacked out, temporary insanity, right? Something like that. Or if it's, because the thing is, he killed him.
Yeah.
It's on camera.
So he has to be going for some sort of temporary insanity defense. He can't say it wasn't him.
Yeah.
He has to be arguing that he wasn't responsible.
Right.
But, I mean, how is it? It's going to be hard to get a sympathetic jury when you are on camera shooting someone.
Right.
And it's clear that they were not a direct threat to your life.
He literally is cowering in the corner when the judge gets shot. So this wasn't like an altercation, like a fight turned deadly. This really was like a confrontation turned deadly. Like a confrontation in which the judge was not fighting back.
And there's no information we could get about this case that would make it better. Because on the one hand, I want to sit here and say, all right, the judge must have done something really bad if the dad was willing to do this. Yeah. But then that also means that there is a girl who's being victimized, which no bueno. We don't want that. But then on the flip side, we say, okay, I really hope that there was nothing that happened to this girl, which of course we hope that. But then it begs the question, how much of a temper does this dad and sheriff have?
Yeah.
If he can be set off by essentially nothing. And that is equally terrifying.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, this isn't just a dad. This is also a sheriff that was elected by the people of Kentucky, right? Of Letcher County. So this is not just a regular average Joe. This is someone who has been sworn to law and order, to protecting, to upholding, law enforcement. And then he kills a judge.
Yeah, I feel
district judge.
One of two things. Either this judge did something really horrible, not that it was a justification for the death, it's just a motivation.
Yeah.
Or this sheriff is a bit unhinged, and that opens up the door to what else has gone unnoticed. Because it doesn't seem to me like you can go from 0 to 100. You can go from being a law-abiding citizen who treats everyone with respect and is able to work through conflict within the confines of the law to, you have my daughter's phone number, you're dead.
Yeah.
So either there's a lot of information we're missing, or maybe there's some cases that need to be looked at again.
Yeah, right. Yeah, maybe this is a symptom of a larger institutional problem. I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to keep our finger on the pulse on this one and kind of see what unravels from it. But we are watching.
I feel like there's a lot more information that's going to come out.
Yeah.
And I do think, I have a feeling it's going to make as much sense as a brutal crime like this can be made sense of.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like there is some big information that we're just missing.
Yeah.
That will come out during trial.
Yeah.
But I feel bad for this community and the judge. And I mean, the people who knew the judge probably knew the sheriff and vice versa.
Yeah, apparently they were long friends.
Really?
Yeah, they were longtime friends.
Oh.
Yeah, so they've known each other for a while.
And this can't be that big of a county. Lecter County? I mean, I haven't heard of it.
Yeah.
The tea that they must have in those city council offices.
Whew.
Insane.
Insane.
If you have any tea on Lecter County.
Yeah, hey, if you're from Lecter County or have family who lives there, please let us know what's going on the ground.
Yeah, give us a tea. Inbox is open. crimeincongress@gmail.com. You can stay anonymous.
Yeah, let us know. Yeah, we won't mention your name if you don't want us to.
No, but we'll love you forever.
We will.
Okay, I'm seeing the next headline that you're about to read me, and I'm so glad we're going to be talking about it.
Okay, so this is from William K. Rashbaum, Dana Rubenstein, Michael Rothfeld, Edward Wong, and Chelsea Rose Marcias from the New York Times. Headline reads, Eric Adams is indicted after federal corruption investigation. So this has been hot news, and I would be hard-pressed to find someone who hasn't heard about this. But in case you haven't, which is okay, no shame, New York City's 110th mayor, Eric Adams, was indicted in a federal corruption investigation. He is the first sitting New York City mayor to face criminal charges and is facing up to 45 years in prison if convicted on all counts, which includes bribery and fraud.
You've left out the most important part, though. That it was Miss Sabrina Carpenter's Feather music video.
Yes. You're right. I'm like, wait, what?
That allegedly brought him down. So my understanding is that if you haven't seen it, I mean, first of all, go watch it. It's an iconic music video. But her Feather music video was shot in a cathedral in New York.
Yes.
There was a big scandal over it because it's kind of a salacious video.
Yeah.
That priest was
I think it was the priest
investigated because they're like, hey, if you made this decision, what other decisions did you make that we should know about? And that kind of led back to his relationship to the mayor, which led to the indictment.
Yeah, so I think there's a lot more to it. It does follow a month-long federal investigation into whether Adams' campaign illegally conspired with Turkish entities to receive foreign donations. So it's not just, this priest silliness, but it does definitely add on to it. Right, of like there are some illegal, improper dealings going on here. If anyone wanted to know what Eric Adams said, I think this is a great quote. I always knew that if I stood my ground for New Yorkers, that I would be a target, and a target I became.
I roll.
If I am charged, I am innocent, and will fight this with every ounce of my strength and spirit.
Isn't he also saying that the Biden administration is going after him for coming out against their immigration or their handling of the southern border?
I think so.
Because that's what we were talking about. I was talking about at work a few days ago, where it was like, okay, go with me here. Joe Biden, last few months of his presidency, he's in his old age, doesn't remember much. And he decides that he wants the end of his legacy to be getting back at Eric Adams for a singular comment that, spoiler alert, the mayor of New York has no influence over immigration policy. Like, that's just not his job.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how delusional do you have to be to believe that the president who has spent, 40, 50 years in public office would use his final moments to come after you for stuff you did?
Right.
Like, That's so delusional.
That is so delusional. But if it is the case, actually iconic on Joe Biden's part. Pettiness level on a million. And he's like, you know what? Actually, screw you.
I wonder if Eric Adams like helped kick Biden off the ticket, and he was like, "Oh, I'm coming for you."
Yeah, he's like, listen, I can't really touch Nancy Pelosi right now, but Eric Adams, you're going down, okay?
I feel like Joe called Sabrina, and he's like, "Hey, listen, I got this crazy idea."
Wait, Sabrina Carpenter and Joe Biden are in cahoots together. That is actually the tea.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, they work together. So, okay, Sabrina chose that cathedral so that there would be a reason to investigate the priest to lead her back to Eric Adams.
And who tipped her off about the church? None other than President Joe Biden himself.
Whoa. This tea is hot. My mouth is burning. Whoa. Okay.
Allegedly.
Big if true.
Allegedly.
So does that mean that Joe Biden's going to be in the Bedchem music video?
We can only hope.
Or do we not want to hope?
Well, no, I think we can hope. And I will continue to hope until I hear otherwise. I think he would be great. I think he'd be great starring role in it. He would just...
Barry, you're being recasted. Joe's retirement job is going to be Sabrina Carpenter's music video.
Bad boy Joey B. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Perform at the VMAs. Sorry, we got really off there. But... Oh, okay, sorry, we're going to stay off for a minute. Yeah. I feel like we could start a rumor that Sabrina Carpenter and Joe Biden are a thing, kind of like, do you know the rumors about Barack Obama and Harry Styles?
Yes. I think we should make that happen.
Yeah.
So guys, you heard it here first. Word on the street is that Joe Biden's been sneaking in another blonde into the White House. And that blonde just so happens to be Sabrina Carpenter.
And Joe Biden's going to be in the Bedchem music video.
Did you know that Taste is actually about Joe Biden and not Shawn Mendes?
Or, no, it's about... Taste is actually about Joe Biden being jealous of Harris being at the top of the ticket.
Oh, because she's gotten all the tea. So she's now writing things from other people's. Oh, so actually, wait, that's true.
No, Biden's talking to the Democrat Party. He's like, you're just going to have to taste me when she's kissing you.
Wait, I love that. So Joe Biden actually wrote the song.
Yeah.
And then Sabrina, like, he shipped it out to Sabrina and was like, hey, I think you should sing this song. It would be too obvious if I sang it.
Exactly.
But I wrote in all my free time, I actually wrote this song.
He was sitting down in the red room of the White House and he was just like, you know, writing probably a burn letter to Pelosi.
Yeah.
And he was like, you know what, Pelosi, you're just going to have to taste me when you're kissing Harris.
Yeah. Boom. Boom.
Bam. I can't remember any other lyrics from the song, right? Oh, I leave quite an impression.
Duh.
Okay.
5 feet to be exact. He had to change that line for Sabrina.
Yeah,
you know,
She added her own spin to it. Yeah. Jack Antonoff got in the studio and he was like, all right, Joe, you're, you know, a great leader, but let me take the reins from here.
Yeah.
And they, you know, added a little pop flair to it.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think we're on to something.
I think we're on to something too.
Wow. Big if true.
Just like Kamala helped write Brat. Joe Biden.
Yes, because
Joe Biden helped write Taste.
Okay, hold on. So, Biden gets all upset because he's getting pushed out. He writes Taste. He gives it to Sabrina Carpenter. Kamala Harris is like, hold my beer.
Yeah.
And she goes over to Charlie XCX and she's like, we're going to do Brat together.
And they release a full-length album. And that is why Kamala HQ like caught a hold of Brat. And that's why Charlie XCX made that tweet. Because they've been in cahoots this entire time.
And it was very Brat of her to kind of kick Biden off the ticket and be like, bye-bye.
Yeah. She's messy. She says silly things sometimes.
Yeah, she's very Brat.
Yeah, she's very Brat.
And I think Biden's a little jealous of that.
Yeah. No,
but he has Sabrina. He's short and sweet. One-term president. He's short and sweet.
Guys, it's all coming together.
This all makes sense.
We're on to them. We're on to them.
I'm very excited to listen to that one back in editing.
Yeah.
See what makes the cut.
All of it. All of it's making the cut.
Okay. Okay, so other than the fact that there's a whole pop girly Democrat Party cahoots thing going on.
Yeah.
Eric Adams, I mean, people hated him for a while.
Yeah.
This kind of just feels like a long time coming.
Yeah, he's like not only losing the war on rats, but He's now
Oh
he's now indicted with federal charges. So I would just say that maybe it's not a great year for Eric Adams.
I mean, he's getting a rat out of New York, just not the rats he intended himself.
He's the rat.
Yeah. They're killing the rats. They're eating the rats.
Actually, if he really cared about rats, he wouldn't have taught New Yorkers how to use trash cans.
I don't think I saw that.
Trash bin. Well, so there's this great press conference where Eric Adams comes out with a trash bin so that New Yorkers don't leave trash on the streets. And he like opens the bin. He's like, "Look at this." Throw the trash in. Close it. Look at that. And that was very anti-rat of him. So, that was very anti-rat. However, the rats are still going strong, and he is still losing the battle, even with his trash bin ploy. The rats are still winning.
Maybe we just need a better demonstration. I don't think the first one stuck. So, Eric, before you go to jail, can you just one more time show us how you use a trash can in New York?
Yeah, because quite honestly, the trash on the streets is an issue, especially when it's hot outside.
And also, you put the trash in the cans. Where are the rats going to go? Like, they're going to stay there.
The rats, so here's my fear. If we start using too many trash bins in New York City, the rats are going to get angry at us. And then they're going to be coming after, they're going to come for blood. If they're not able to nibble the things in the trash, they're coming for humans next. And they're going to be nibbling at the ankles. They're going to be nibbling at the toes. Everyone wear closed-toe shoes, which if
you should do in New York anyway.
Should do unless they're like platforms, okay?
I mean, do it in DC too. Just if you're in a city, closed-toe shoes.
Unless they're platform.
Yeah.
Especially not if it's raining though.
If it's raining, if it's raining and your toes are out, go back inside. We do not have time for that.
I'm guilty.
What?
Yeah, like I've done that. I
flip flops.
Yeah,
in the rain.
Yeah. Well, if
city,
if it's a summer shower.
Okay, that's different. If you're like walking to the beach.
No. Like in the city.
No,
like,
girl.
But it's like 80 degrees outside. Okay, it's like, okay, here's the thing. If it's like a rainy day, I'm not like wearing my flip flops. But like, if it so happens to rain that day and I'm already in my flippy floppies and it's 80 degrees outside, then I'm unfortunately I'm trudging through the gross puddles.
Okay, yeah, I've gotten stuck before, but I really feel like this whole Gen Z movement against having your dogs out in public, I'm fully behind it.
Yeah.
Other than like the beach, the pool, I feel like those toes should just be kept away.
Put those away.
We should treat them the way that like moms in the 90s treated shoulders, where it's like, oh, hide those.
Yeah, no.
Way too
those.
Revealing.
I mean, toes tell more about a person than their shoulders, for sure.
Yeah.
Because look at everyone's shoulders. They're all about the same. Look at someone's toes. You can tell a lot about a person. Are they clean? They have fungus on them. You know what I mean? You tell a lot about a person.
My second toe's longer than my big toe.
Okay, mine is too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel less alone.
Like especially if I stretch them out.
Yeah, I kind of have to stretch it out because my middle toe like curves a little bit.
So apparently that I saw this on the internet once that like that's like different toe shapes mean like you're like from different areas or something. Yeah. Toe.
It's like a zip code.
Yeah, toe shape meaning. Yeah, okay, thank you. So if your second toe is a little bit longer than your big toe, you could either be looking at a Roman foot or a Greek foot. So, and then they also have, but this is interesting. So they have an Egyptian foot, and then they have a square foot. So
okay, so we have Roman or Greek feet.
It depends. So my second one is longer than my big toe, but then my third one is shorter than my big toe.
Same.
Okay, so then actually we have Greek foot.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
What is it still a Greek foot if you also like barely have a toenail on your pinky toe? Because I have like one of those baby pinky toes.
I'm just not seeing that in the diagram that I'm looking at right now.
We're an underrepresented group.
Anyways.
But I never get pedicures, and so That's another motivation for me
Why?
to be.
Do you not like people touching your feet, or
Well,
what's your issue with it? Is it too much? Like, is it too, like, you can't justify the money, or is it too much time? What is your issue?
So it's trifold.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're gonna get deep here. First one is I hate sitting still for that long. I don't like getting my hair done. I don't like getting my nails done. And so it's not something that I would do to relax. It very much feels like a chore.
Okay.
And so I just don't do it unless I have to. I also have a scar on one of my toes that is incredibly sensitive.
Oh.
And I hate when it's touched.
Oh.
And so, you know those like toe separator things?
Oh, yeah. Love those.
It feels like it's like nails on a chalkboard for me, or just like, you know, that those feelings that give you like just like the crawlies up your spine.
Like
Velvet does that for me.
Oh, yeah.
I just hate it.
Yeah.
Hate that feeling. And then also I'm really prone to ingrown toenails. And I get shamed about it.
They say mean things to me there.
Yeah, with their eyes. Those eyes like,
they're
do you
talking
see
about you
this
for
girl?
sure. Yeah, they're talking about you for sure.
and-
Well, I have pretty hefty calluses.
oh,
And they're always like, they always have to bring out like the cheese grater
nice.
going on for me, which is always a little embarrassing because they take a look and then they have to go to the back and get the cheese grater and then they bring it out. But I love it. I love it.
Yeah, there's usually this look and they're like, hey, you know about this, right? I'm like, yes, I just
You know.
I live with a chronic condition.
Yeah, no, fully aware. It hurts terribly when I bump my toe on something. I'm well aware.
So yeah, that's my history with getting my toes done.
Great.
Um
Well, on that note,
well, this has been a fun headlines episode. I'm laughing at us because we were like, all right, these will be 20-minute episodes and we are pushing an hour already.
oh Lord.
We'll edit it down, so I feel like by the time it gets to the listener, maybe it'll be a cute 50 minutes.
Yeah. This is something to listen to when you're cleaning and you just want to hear nonsense.
Yeah. Nonsense. Absolutely. Should we have a little nonsense outro? Did you
Yeah.
go to the Sabrina Carpenter show in DC last year?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Her DC outro, and this is how we'll close out. We did a little nonsense outro and Gavel.
Perfect.
It was Revolutionary War, the British started it.
Mm-hmm.
In his pants is the Washington Monument.
Okay.
DC stands for dope crowd. I just thought of it. Great.
And with that, everyone, this has been our first segment of Newsflash. Hope you enjoyed it because I know we sure did.
If there are any headlines you want us to cover, DM them to us. It's open. If you have feedback, thoughts, only nice stuff, send it to us.
No constructive criticism. Sorry.
Yeah, no, we're not in the headspace for that right now. And if you enjoyed it, please rate 5 stars. Have been stuck at 17 5-star reviews pretty much since we launched, and we are really trying to get to 20. So we need 3 of you to jump into Spotify, smash that 5-star button, and help us reach our first goal of 20 5-star reviews.
Pretty please.
We love you.
Bye, crime situents.